So what's going on, sports fans? Welcome back to another episode of Sports Talk and More. I'm your host, Alex Tillery, a.k.a. Coach Till. And before we get started, you already know it's a really bro moment. And the really bro moment is the boy Donald Trump. Why he don't want to get out the office. Take your L, go home. You ain't got to go home, but you got to get up out of that White House. That's the really bro moment. I can't believe this man is doing all this and he lost. Take your loss and go home. All right? So with that being said, welcome back to another episode of Sports Talk and More. I got a guest with me here today, this young man. We actually met back in March, I believe, but we met virtually.
Yeah.
Met virtually. His pop did a men's conference, and I was part of the panel. Both of us were part of the panel, and, we all had, a testimony, and we talked about different things that's going on with us. And his story was so unique and it touched me, so I just wanted to bring him on so we could chop it up with him today. So introduce yourself, man.
How's it going, everybody? My name is Clarence Bailey. I'm a proud father of 3. Married to my wife for 14 years. I'm a high school football coach and a high school track coach, and I also work for Hopewell Valley School District.
That's what's up, man. So I know when I heard your story, you was a high school football player.
Yes.
Where did you play at?
I played at Young High School.
Okay. And what position you played?
Freshman year, I started off playing just defense, and then as I got myself up, and then throughout the years, started playing offense and defense. But kind of figuring myself out in what the game was and how the game was played.
Okay.
I know tackle was my spot for me.
Yeah.
Being 6'6" and 275 pounds in high school, that was a spot for me.
So how was it going into your freshman year? What did you expect? I know you played Pop Warner and stuff like that going into.
Yeah, I actually played for Trenton too. It was just a kid playing sports. I had no whereabout of how things were going to go and stuff like that. So I just came in, and all my friends that we grew up with and played football together when we were younger. Just came in and started playing.
So did you play varsity your freshman year, or
actually I got a little bit of time as a freshman.
Okay.
And that's kind of rare at Young High School, but like I said, being 6'6" at as a freshman, or 6'5" or whatever I was, that that you can't pass that up.
Yeah,
as a coach.
Definitely. So going into your sophomore, but actually going into your junior year, you start getting looks from schools and stuff like that?
Actually, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna back up for you a little bit.
Okay, there you go.
When it came to my sophomore year, I didn't take care of the class from actually my freshman year. So my sophomore year, I couldn't play high school football. So that was actually when I met my wife. So we were, like I said, we've been married for 14 years, we've been together for 19. So I met her. And she kind of helped
sweethearts.
me. Yeah. She kind of helped me get me on a narrow street, and kind of got my work together. Started getting A's in high school, and then came out my junior year. That's when things started a little pop for me a little bit, and then I had to make a name for myself once again.
Okay. So in your junior year, did you start getting looks?
I started getting a little bit of looks in here and there, but I wasn't being told about them. I didn't find out about myself getting looks until years later in high school, because I didn't have the grades. So it was being 6'6", and back then you needed the grades and the size. So
So your senior year come, how was that?
Actually, my senior year was great. We actually played against Nostrum Marino in the semifinal game of the state playoffs. He played for Middletown South as a freshman that year. A lot of those guys that I played with, they know the story, but, I don't want to elaborate because we can be sitting here all day about that story. But, he got stopped on the 1-yard line by myself and a couple other my teammates, and, the referees called it a touchdown, and they walked off the field. So that was it from there. That was my high school career. So that's why I tell a lot of the kids that I coach now, or especially my sons, play every play like it's your last.
Oh, you're supposed to. So I know when we was on the conference, you were saying about colleges and stuff like that. You had a couple of college looks and stuff like that.
Actually, like I said, later down the line, I did find out I was getting recruited by Syracuse. Okay. But, like I said, I didn't have the grades, but ended up going to Lackawanna College up in Scranton. My deceased coach down, who passed away 2 years ago, he looked me out and kind of sent out my film to a lot of the junior colleges around the state, like around the country, which was more so the East Coast.
Okay.
It's called the Northeast Conference.
Okay.
And, you know, Lackawanna played in that conference. Nassau Community College, Erie Community College, and a lot of other those. And I just ended up picking Lackawanna.
Okay, so how was that experience?
It was actually, you know, not thinking that it would have been fun, but as I think over the years, like I really had a good time at Lackawanna. And you know, I put in work there to get myself and have my name be put out there being, you know, my last year there being like, you know, one of the top tackles in the country.
Okay, so what was the transition from your senior year in high school playing college ball now?
What I can say is it was a shell shock, but if I would have did what I was supposed to do in the summer, I'd have been fine. But, you know, getting there and not passing my run test, that kind of like put me behind not the learning curve, but the, you know, being able to play as a freshman. Like I had the potential to play as a freshman, but, you know, not passing that run test and not being in shape, that kind of like put me behind the, you know, the 8 ball.
Now that's key though.
Oh, definitely.
That's definitely key. Like, I mean, I equate to think about LeBron in basketball at 37, 34, something like wherever he at. He put $1 million into his body.
Yeah, I was just about to say that. Yeah,
so the off season, he put in that work. So when the season come, he able to do what he got to do. So that's very important for young kids and coming up in the ranks. Man, you got to put in that work, man, if you want to get where you got to go.
And just finding out about too. You know, Russell Wilson's the same one. He spends $1 million on his body every year too as well.
Yeah. Like, I mean, that's a profession. So
Tom
you figure
Brady as well too. So,
yeah. So it's like,
guys.
it's like if you don't invest in yourself, then what you gonna do?
Exactly.
You can't be that name and then be on the field or on the court looking slop. You know what I mean? You can't definitely do that. So your senior year college, let's go to your senior year of college. How was that?
So the thing is with me, having to go through the junior college route, like it's not just the same as a 4-year college. So I had to spend 3 seasons there. So I played, you know, 2 years on the field. I came in my second year and I started as at right tackle, and then got some looks. Spring ball came around in my 3rd year. That's when kind of like things just blew up for me. I got a call from USC one day, so it was like, you know, once that kind of like got that call, my head just blew up. So
I was about to say UNC ain't nothing to sneeze about. How did you feel about that, man?
I felt like, you know, this was around the time that Pete Carroll was at USC. So it's just like once I got that, you know, that call from them, it's just like, you know, it's time to put in the work.
Yeah. I'm like, I can only imagine. I mean, that's one of the top schools in the country.
Exactly. That's when they had Reggie Bush.
Yeah, I was about to say that's back.
Guys, yeah.
Actually, I was just watching a little documentary on them recently with that about when they had to play Texas.
Yep, they ended up losing to Texas and Vince Young, man.
Yeah, I remember that. I was rooting for Texas, my fault. I was rooting for Texas that year, but that's what's up. So what happened with that situation?
So what happened was I end up, you know, playing and getting more looks. So, you know, I was getting recruited by, say, Oklahoma, Ole Miss, South Carolina. This is when Steve Spurrier came back to coaching. He was the head coach there at South Carolina. Florida State. This is when I think I forgot his name, but he was one of the head coaches he was a long-time head coach at Florida State. Pittsburgh.
You talking about Lou?
No, he wasn't. He wasn't there. Yeah. Kansas State. Rutgers finally came on after the fact, but it's just like, you know, if you don't recruit me in high school, I ain't wanna.
Yeah, I mean, you home. I'm homegrown right now.
I'm right down the street.
You should have grabbed me up years ago.
Exactly, and that's when, you know, who's there now? Like he came back. Forgot his name once again, but you know, the coach at Rutgers now. He was there then, but you know, keep fast forwarding on what was going on. It's just like, you know, that those recruitment letters were just rolling in. So. You know, once I kind of like narrowed down things, you know, I got down to like 4 schools. It was Florida State, Oklahoma, Ole Miss, and South Carolina. So it was just a juggle between South Carolina and Ole Miss.
Okay.
I ended up verbally committing to Ole Miss.
Okay.
But you know, on signing day, I kind of like had a change of heart because when I was at South Carolina, I was just like, I had fun there.
Yeah.
And just playing for Steve Spurrier is just like, you know.
Yeah,
that's just one of the guys. That was one of the top, you know, football coaches, and you know, and behold. So it's like I just end up, having to change of heart and just going with South Carolina.
Okay. Plus, it's a little closer.
Yeah.
Family can get down there, take a little 8-9 hour trip down there to see you. So that's what's up. So how did that work out?
Now, on another story, so going back to the grades thing, I preach to my sons all the time, school is very important. And I didn't take it serious because, like I said, once I got those recruitments and all the letters started rolling in, I started not going to class. So once that kind of like started,
head got too big.
Head got very big. So everything's came down. I done signed and not going to class. And my last class that I needed was a math class, and he ended up giving me an F in that class because I never showed up.
Wow.
So that was just like kind of the story of my junior college regime or era or whatever. Then going to, I get a call. I'm sitting home with my wife. Well, we weren't married at the time yet. I ended up getting a call from Albany State in Georgia, which is a D2 school. Just like, what, my mom was actually born there, which is, how ironic that, my mom being born there and then just having to think, I'm like, it was either between that and Del State. I ended up just getting a call from them because like I couldn't go D1 because I didn't have the 2-year associate degree to go there.
Okay.
So I ended up, going with Albany State.
Okay. And how was that experience?
Actually, that experience was, it was good. Playing wise, it was very good. Okay. It was just, when it came to school and myself, I just wanted to play. Never wanted to attend school. I just, just wanted to, show up every day to practice and play on Saturdays and just not show up in the classroom.
Yeah, see, that's important, man. Student athletes, like people don't. A lot of kids, they got the talent, but the grades. I know a lot of guys from where I come from, basketball wise, and probably football wise, could have been pros.
Yes,
but they didn't put the work in the classroom. I mean, I got
definitely.
And listen, I got guys that ball.
It definitely goes hand in hand. That classroom and the sports go hand in hand. You can't just think you're gonna show up to a test and you didn't study for it. The same way you think you're just gonna show up to a game and not practice on it.
Yeah, exactly. So when we was on the conference call, we was talking. You had said something about you got diagnosed. So can you explain a little bit about that?
It's about what? This was a year ago. Actually, my wife took my boys to Nebraska for a baseball clinic there with their coach. And like I'm there at home with my daughter, and we're just because she was what 15 at the time. It was just me and her having some bonding time, and I'm summer working and stuff like that. So it was just a couple of days I was just having a headache for like a whole week straight. So with that, I'm like something ain't right, and I'm at work. I'm like, I'm gonna take myself to the hospital. So it was just like this headache would not go away. So just end up, getting an MRI. It was like, you have MS, multiple sclerosis, and it's just like that. Finding out that was like devastating to me, and showing me that, I got to continue to live life like it's my last, and and to rewind back and just thinking like playing football at Lackawanna, like during my spring ball time, it's like at times I'll be in the weight room and like I'm benching, and it's not heavy weight, but one side of my body will lock up, and I wasn't even thinking about it then. So it's like just having that at that time just lock up, and it's like I'm fine. I'm just thinking I got like a pinched nerve in my neck or something like that, and so I just keep playing on it. And like one day in practice, like I'm, going one-on-one with a guy, and I, pancake him to the ground and just went away. I just thought nothing of it. Yeah. So just fast forward, 15 years later, here I am, with multiple sclerosis, and that could have been something that
you could have treated back then.
Yeah. But it's just like I probably wouldn't wanted to treat it because they probably would have told me I couldn't play no more. Yeah. So
that's definitely a big thing. Like especially as an athlete, as a competitor, you don't want them to tell you can't play no more.
Like it's times when times with playing. I would never come out the game. Just one game we're playing Nassau Community College. We're home, and being a lineman, like you never know what's going on behind you. Mm-hmm. One of my running backs, you know, rolled up behind me, and I got caught underneath, and I think I tore like meniscus in my knee. I'm back the next week playing. So, yeah, that's how it was with me. I was a grinder.
So you back the next week?
Yeah.
That's a tough injury too, man.
Yeah, it was.
That's a tough injury.
It's like with the tough coaches I had. It's just like, you know, he wouldn't let me not practice anyway. I had to practice.
Okay.
So it was just, you know, it was just back in them days where, you know, trainers were good then, but it's just, you know, you got to practice.
That's so how is it now? How long you say you've been down those? How long now?
It's been like a year.
Okay.
And, you know, some change, like 2-3 months.
Okay.
So, you know, I just kind of like take things day by day. Every day is a new journey.
That's what's up.
And, you know, I just can't dwell on what things go on and just how I feel. I just got to push through. Because I'm still actually, you know, coaching now too. So back to full-time coaching. Okay. I kind of like started back in the winter, spring. But now like I'm back on, you know, coaching full-time and in football, stuff like that.
How old are you?
I'm actually 36. Just turned 36 2 weeks ago.
Okay. Happy belated birthday.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
So yeah, you said that you back coaching now. How is that now? Like you on the other side. You on the other side now.
Yeah, I've been actually. Well, my middle son, he's 13. So I've been coaching for 13 years now. Okay.
How did that feel coaching your son too?
I actually kind of coached both of them. Mm-hmm. Coaching them since they were younger. It's dad and coach. So it's just like when we're on the field, it's coach. And then when we get home, it's dad. Or we get in the car, it's dad. Okay. But, you know, within the last 2 years, I kind of like backed away from coaching them. Mm-hmm. So I just kind of like let their coaches coach because I'm also a high school coach. Okay. So like I said, like in the beginning, I coached high school, you know, football and track. So it's just balancing the two of, you know, my daughter and her stuff, you know, and my boys and their stuff. Okay. And then coaching in my life too, stuff like that. So
that's what's up. See, now that's key. I mean, I'm a basketball coach. So my daughter wanted to get into basketball at one point, and I took my hands off. Mm-hmm. Like from the beginning, like I would tell her little tips and bits, just, you know, help her out. But I took my hands off because I'm like, dad, coach, I know my expectation, and then sometimes they learn better from someone else.
Right, because they hear a different voice.
Yeah,
it's the same thing, but it's just heard in a different voice.
Yeah, so I took a step back, but needless to say, she played a couple years and then she chilled, so.
Gotcha.
It is what it is.
And you know, it's like with my boys, I wanted the foundations first. Mm-hmm. And it was like, you know, you say, you know, what you coach in basketball, like my boys play baseball now, because when they were younger, they played football, but I kind of like backed them away because, you know, me dealing with my concussions and stuff like that, playing throughout my years, kind of like wanted to wait until they got to high school again. Okay. So I just know that, you know, when it comes to, you know, coaching your own kids, it's rough. It's not easy.
Oh, what's cool?
You know, it's just, you got to balance that as well. Mm-hmm. And, you know, one thing I always,
screaming, ah.
Yeah, and it's like one thing I always said, like, you know, with coaching them, like, I'll never, like, embarrass them in front of their teammates. Yes. Or call them out for any teammates.
Definitely. That's definitely positive reinforcements for them too. So they need that. So where you coaching at now?
Actually, you know, I ended up taking a job back in February, March at Notre Dame High School, coaching football. Okay. Where's that at? It's actually in Lawrenceville, New Jersey.
So how's that going so far?
It's going really well. You know, but dealing with the, you know, pandemic and all that, you know, we're trying to, like, you know, maneuver around things when it comes to, you know, the state allowing us to have different, you know, games, stuff like that. So, like, we're only allowed 6 games this year. Mm-hmm. So, you know, yesterday we played Trent High, which was our 6th game of the season. Okay. Hopefully we get to, like, one more, you know, to end things off with. You know, but, you know, yesterday was a good game, man.
What's your record so far?
We're 5-1 right now because we ended up playing them the first time. We ended up losing to them, but, you know.
Oh, so yesterday
was more of a redemption.
Revenge, okay. That's what's up. That's what's up.
It's just, you know, it's crazy because, you know, both of my parents went there. Mm-hmm. So it's just like playing against the school that my parents went to, playing against them and coaching against them. So that was kind of like, you know, a fun thing throughout the years.
Okay, so you got that rivalry at home with the family.
Yeah, a little bit.
That's what's up, man. So with that, I know you started a company or something like that.
Actually, I'm trying to kind of like start an academy.
Okay.
Because I mean, if you look in our area, especially in the Mercer County area, you don't find things for big guys. Because like I said, I'm 6'6" and well over 300 pounds, and I play line all my life, offensive line all my life, and I coach offensive line all my life. So it's just like, it's always, you can go out there and look online and look for these skill camps. You have 7-on-7 camps and things of that nature, but you can't find none for the big guys. So it's like, one day I'm sitting home and one of the guys I used to train with, he was a big trainer when I used to coach at Hopewell. His name's Joe DeMarco. Gave me a call, about this big kid that played for Trent. So I'm like, okay, what you need from me? He's like, I need you to work with him. This kid was 6'9", close to 400 pounds, and
wow.
Yeah,
high school.
The story is longer. The story is longer, but I know we ain't got that much time.
You can talk, man. We can talk a little bit.
Yeah, this kid's 6'9". He played at Trenton, but the kid only played 2 years of football. So it's just like with him playing only 2 years of football, he didn't have that. He didn't have that exposure, and no one really could teach him how to play the game as a big man. So it's just like it's like me trying to teach a skill guy how to do something as a skill guy. But I'm a big guy. I'm really I'm a lineman.
Yeah.
Like I could teach the basics, but I can't teach you all the little things.
Yes.
So this summer, me and him got in the gym, started working with him, started sending his film out, filming him up and then getting his film out there, like I said. And with that, coaches start calling. I put it up on Twitter, put it up on my Instagram, I put it up on my Facebook. Coach started rolling in.
That's good.
And so what really happened for him, which was a blessing for him and a blessing for everybody. Like Rutgers called. So it's just like that kind of like rolls back to me. Rutgers not giving me a call, but now they're giving him a call.
Yeah.
So it's just like now, with this kid only having 2 years of football experience of playing, no one really wanted to touch him. But I worked with him, got him some film, and then now, like I said, Rutgers called him. Now he's at Rutgers right now, and he's actually second string tackle.
That's what's up. That's good. With 2 years of experience, that's big, man.
Yeah, because you had everyone count. You had a lot of people counting him out and didn't want to give him a chance, and that's all he needed was a chance.
See, but my thing with that is crazy because you can't teach height and weight. You can't teach size. Yeah, exactly. You can't teach that. You could. So with somebody that size, that's potential. How you not want to take that chance? But that's their loss.
Exactly.
Rutgers got them. That's their loss because that's a big man.
Yes.
That's a big man.
He makes me look small. Like I said, I'm 6'6", he's 6'9". He just makes me look small.
See, and I like what you're doing for the big man because you're right. It really isn't any type of trainings or camps or anything like that. Big men they learn when they at practice or they at school.
Exactly.
Like it's rare that they work with trainers or stuff like that to get the techniques and stuff like that.
Doing the movements that a big man's supposed to do, and it's just like with coming up, what this academy I want to do, which is it's called CB3, big skilled academy, and that kind of like comes from my own initials, and I'm named after my father and my grandfather, so I just kind of like rolled the name into one. Okay,
because I'm like them skill players, they can't go nowhere if they ain't got no big man blocking.
Exactly, starts up front. A lot of people don't know that.
They always talk about the quarterback. No, it's the line.
Exactly,
the line got to get the protection together. The line got to block. They got assignments. If a play going to the right, we sweep to the right. Your lineman got to pull. If they don't do their job, nothing goes, man.
Exactly.
So yeah,
that's where it starts at, and that's where the foundation is.
I always respect the big man. I ain't gonna lie. You got to think about Emmitt Smith when he was winning the championships. He was going out buying his whole line, watches and all this stuff, taking them out to dinner. Always treat them to dinner.
And actually, that's what Adrian Peterson just did for all his linemen at Detroit since he just got traded to him. He just bought all them scooters.
Yeah.
So it's just, you just gotta take care of the big guys. The big guys take care of you.
That's what's up. That's what's up. So basically, you kind of answered one of the questions why you started that program.
So what rolling into that this program, one of my boys and actually it's a small world. I ended up coaching him in high school. He ended up going to Monmouth University and playing football for him, wide receiver. His name's Darvin Henderson.
Okay.
He came back home after playing at Monmouth. Got a little looks from the arena teams and stuff like that. And he came home and started his own company, which is Playmaker Athletics. And And now, with him, he's doing his thing with with the skill guys. So he was just like, I got the skill guys. So when we just come together and just bring in the big man, we just do it all one thing. So he's starting this. We're having a combine actually December 20th at the Robbinsville Bubble in Robbinsville, New Jersey.
Okay, I'll make sure I put that information in the description too.
And we're gonna have a combine for all these kids that only got the 6 games to play this year. So those kids in high school, they only got 6 games to play, and some of these kids that need looks that are in college already. We're gonna live stream this and get things going for all the kids in New Jersey and whoever else want to come that's close.
That's what's up. That's big, man. Y'all better jump up on that. So before we go, man, is there any type of advice you want to give any of these young men? I know, if they was listening to the story, then the advice is right there. But you could, elaborate a little more. Like
my biggest thing is just like when we had that conference back, months ago. It's just like I just kind of like preach, control what you can control. Take things one day at a time. And just just work it. If you whatever you're doing as far as like sport, whatever thing, whatever instrument you're playing, you got to practice. Practice make perfect. And you can't just show up, game time and come out and play, because it kind of like shows. So just continue to work and grind.
That's what's up. Y'all heard it here. Listen, again, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Until next time, people.